In Celtic mythology, the Oak King and the Holly King were twins, pitted against each other in a never-ending fight for supremacy. Oak trees were sacred to the Druids. They lost their leaves, while the English Christmas holly trees are evergreen. As cold weather approached, the Celts marveled at how the evergreen Christmas holly trees, hidden amongst the leafy oaks the rest of the year, now stood out prominently on an otherwise barren landscape. The two must continually battle because they are part of the cycle or wheel of life. Ultimately, while these two beings do battle all year long, they are two essential parts of a whole. Despite being enemies, without one, the other would no longer exist. The Oak King, the Lord of the Greenwood, rules from midwinter to midsummer. At midwinter, he goes to battle with his twin, the Holly King. He slays the Holly King, who then goes to rest until they can do battle again at midsummer. The Oak King and the Holly King are mortal enemies at midsummer and midwinter, but they are two sides of a whole. Neither could exist without the other.
Have you seen the Jack and the Queen?
One concept that must be kept in mind is that the struggle of light versus dark is not one of good versus evil. In the basic mindset, the struggle of light and dark is one of birth and regeneration. Like the harvest, one thing that grows will die, and what dies will grow again. As the sun is reborn on the winter solstice day, we too are reborn. As the darkness reborn on the summer solstice day, we too start to die on that day. We are reborn with the light in one way or the other.
It's no fun being a Jack and the Queen. No place to dance, no time for song. It wears the colors of the summer song, yeah, and carries the green flag all winter long. Jack, do you never sleep? As the green spell run deep in your heart, it's or will these changing times motor waste our lives keep us apart? Well, I don't think so. I saw some grass growing through
The Oak King is depicted as the Green Man, all dressed in green, appearing out from foliage of green leaves.
the rowan, the oak, and the holly tree are the charges left when you took root. Each blade across whispers Jack with the Queen. Oh, Jack, please help me through the winter's night. And we are the berries on the holly tree. Oh, the mist of the rush is coming, Jack, put out the lights.
Through time, the Holly King became represented by the famous Christmas figure Santa Claus, or Father Christmas, because he is depicted wearing red, a sprig of holly in his hair, and is sometimes driving a team of 8 stags. He was also, in some areas of Europe, considered to be a powerful giant, covered in holly leaves and branches, wielding a holly bush as a club. The brothers were identical in strength, and so year after year the same pattern was repeated. Each year the Oak King would grow strong and mighty, and during his time of dominance the light would gradually increase, bringing with it warmth and abundance. But each year, at the height of his power, he would be thrown down by the Holly King. In the wake of the Holly King's victory, the light would gradually wane, and as it did, cold would come, and the land would go dormant. But at the height of the Holly King's power, he would be challenged again by the Oak King, and would fall, and the cycle would repeat again and again. Holly leaves are hung in honor of the Holly King, and the mistletoe is hung in honor of the Oak King, because you can find mistletoe hanging far up in the branches of an oak tree. In pagan mythology, the Oak King and the Holly King were twins of a whole. One couldn't exist without the other. Some think this folklore or belief was probably constructed by the Druids, since they honored both the trees, the holly and the oak. The Holly King and the Oak King battle twice a year, once at midsummer, when the Holly King wins, and then again at midwinter, or Yule, when the Oak King wins. The lessons learned from the saga of the Oak King and the Holly King can be useful today in explaining the cycle of the seasons and the circle of life.